At the age of 18, young people are legally free to leave home and do as they please. An 18-year-old is considered independent, but a parent is still legally responsible. Emancipation is when parents relinquish control over the child's earnings and allow a child to earn his own wage. Over 1 million youths run away each year.
In the 1980s, the term Emancipation Proclamation has taken on a new meaning. It refers to the freedom the parent bestows upon a youngster under 18. It allows that youngster to establish his or her own home and life as an emancipated minor. And in that way, the child is therefore free to live and work and play on his own. Hi, I'm Joe Feinstein, and today on Teen Talk, we're going to talk with a group of youngsters, some of whom are just about ready to leave their homes, some of whom really enjoy where they are and have decided to stick around for a long time, and find out how they feel on the subject of leaving home. Welcome, panel. Welcome to Teen Talk. And I'm wondering, how are you guys getting, what are some of the reasons that you guys
Teen
are
Talk
getting
on
set
Leaving
for,
Home.
leaving
A discussion with host Joe Feinstein and 7 high school students on the subject of leaving home.
My mother to this day still treats me like a baby. She reminds me to flush a toilet every time I'm in the bathroom. She really drives me up the wall. But then again, the conflict.
Well, she drives you out of the bathroom anyway.
Out of the bed, drives me in the bathroom to hide. She's really crazy. I hate to say that, but I feel sorry for her. I don't want to leave the lady alone. She'll have no one to pick on. You know? I don't know what to do. But I don't know.
Steve, what are some of the reasons you want to leave home?
Well, when I'm ready to leave home, it'll be the start of independence. I'll be on my own. And I think you need that. I think everyone needs to be alone for a while and to see if they can make it on their own. I think that's important. I don't want to stay at home forever, but for now it's nice because it's cheap, it's free. But when I'm ready, I'll enjoy it.
The economics of life are there. They're a very important constant that,
Right.
that does exist. PJ, you're 19 now and you're in college now. How do you feel about leaving home?
Well, I live with my mother right now, and things are pretty good with us. We're really close and open with each other. And I know not in the near future I'm going to be leaving home, but I think one of the most important things you have to learn is responsibility. You have to learn to be able to pay for things that you're used to your parents paying for, like doctor bills or, hey Mom, I need to borrow $5, I need some gas for my car, you know. It's just...
Jeff, you're also 19. How do you feel about leaving home now?
Well, it's leaving home. I think the main thing I want to be is financially ready and mentally ready to leave home, because once I leave, I don't want to come back because it would feel like a failure to me. I don't want to, once I leave, I want to make sure that I'm able to make it by myself.
This is one of the things that comes up very, very often among the people that come to my singles living class, the speakers, and they say that going away and leaving home is one of the things that they're very concerned about, but they want to make it because they say that the worst thing is to fall on your face and have to return home. You can well understand that that might be so.
I hear that mostly happens. That 7 out of 10 times the person returns home after leaving because he just can't make it.
Really?
I just want that to happen.
And I would imagine that money problems are always the very biggest problems that exist.
It would have
That's
to be
why.
because,
That's why.
Yeah,
right, because like my friend, he's living on his own, and he makes a decent salary, but half of his salary alone just goes for rent, and then he still has car payments, insurance, food, and by the end he's left with nothing. And he's always just, you know, trying to get up enough money just to make it through the month. And I really don't want to go through that.
And the ones who fail always try again.
What do you mean?
The ones who try and move out and they can't afford it and they run into problems and they go home with their parents. As soon as they have another chance, they want to get rid of it. They don't want to have the guilt feeling, so they try it again to prove that they can do it.
I got a feeling that that's not what happens, Brett. I got a feeling that once they failed, they remember that failure, and then all of a sudden they don't want to try it again. They get really uptight and scared about ever going out there into that cruel world, you know? Do you want to leave the house soon?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not until I know I'm going to be moving out of state to go to college, or really far.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with moving out and then coming back home, because, you know, if you move out and you just can't do it and then you come back home, you know, that's just how it worked out.
Well,
there's
it's called
nothing wrong
eating
with.
humble pies, Francoise.
Yeah, but if you know, you need a chance, and so you go out the first time. If you don't do it, you come back. It's not something that you should make a game out of, but you know, it's all right to come back the first time.
Are you looking forward to this?
To leaving home?
Yeah.
Not really. In a sense I am, in a sense I'm not. But when I am ready to leave, I'll make sure that I have everything ready, you know, and
What's
I know
the everything? I'm wondering, what's your everything that's ready for you?
Well, for one, to make sure that I can support myself, and when I have a goal to go about, you know, doing, then that's when I'll leave, when I know what I want to do.
When you know what you want to do. And Michelle, what about you?
I'm not ready to leave home just yet, but I will be leaving home when I go to school, and that'll be like in a year, next January. I really want to leave home because I think it's important for me to become more independent and not be so dependent on parents financially, emotionally, and you know, all those other reasons. And I'm really looking forward to going to school.
Thomas Wolfe noted that you can't go home again. And some of you, I'm sure, are really concerned with the whole process of leaving. And I'm wondering, what are some of the predictable concerns and worries that you people have with respect to leaving home? Well, how do you feel about that, Brett?
I'd be very scared to leave home. I don't think I'd be able to afford it financially unless I was, you know. I have a lot of things that are paid for me right now, and I love it. You know, I don't like pulling money out of my own pocketbook. It's scary, you know. It's like goes and it doesn't rebuild itself for a long time.
Almost like how much does $3.35 an hour really buy in 1982? Right, that's a concern, I'm sure. What about you, PJ? What do you predict as a real worry or concern?
Being able to support myself and being used to the way I live now, and not being able to support myself when I'm out on my own the way I live now. Because my mom and dad pay for everything, except for I work a little bit and I pay for my own gas. And it's like you have money and you can spend it on what you want, but when you're out, you have to spend it on what you have to spend it on, and you can't always spend it on, oh, I need a new top, I want to go out and get it, oh, this money's going to go towards rent, you know.
Well, with me, I basically have a plan laid out. Whenever it's just, I've been very careful about it.
The
And right now,
Swafford plan of leaving home. I want to hear
Right.
about this.
I mean, Mom worked it out too, because she wants to be sure I'm out by 2 years. I mean, it's, you know, I'm working right now full time and going to school. I'm saving up some money, and then when I become 21, I'm right now a manager at a restaurant, but when I'm 21, I'm going to try to get a better job waiting tables at a nicer restaurant where you make like $100 a night in tips. I mean, that would be a nice job. And after that, I can start working for my career, but then I'll be able to support myself, I think, and live on my own.
Well, you mentioned something about Mom wanting you, kind of edging you out. My father used to say, "When are you getting off my back?" That was his little kind of reminder to me that I'm still around and he's still paying the bills and stuff like that. Do any of you hear that from Mom or Dad? Are any of you getting that kind of encouragement?
I feel welcomed. I just don't. They say it'd be nice if you were away to college, but I feel welcomed.
You do, even when they lock you out at night? No, I'm only teasing.
I'm getting
Brad?
the opposite. My mom says, you don't want to leave, do you? You want to stay here for a long time. But
And you say, yes, Mother, forever.
Oh, God. The thing that I'm worried about, though, is, I mean, I do want to. I really want to leave home pretty soon, you know, because I want to feel independent, but I'm worried because I don't know the right time to do it. Like you said, I don't want to go out and fail at it. And, you know, I've never done this before, of course, and I don't know when the right time is. I don't know what signs to look for, or if just being financially ready means that you're ready to move out.
Mm-hmm.
For myself,
Francoise?
I had a hard time even just going out and getting a job. You know, like my parents kept trying to tell me that you have to go get a job, and I didn't want to. I wanted to stay home and not work. And so finally they convinced me, you know, you better get a job, you have to start sometime. so I did get a job, and as soon as you go slowly, step by step, then you'll be ready to leave home.
It's a step-by-step process, a gradual process. And you're getting some of those steps? Are you getting those?
Yeah, well, my parents really encourage me on, leaving home, and they're not kicking me out, but they encourage me on going to school and having more responsibilities. And my job has really made me more responsible. And when you get a paycheck every 2 weeks, it's really different. You have to know how to budget your money, and you really have to know how to spend it wisely and not just, here and there for little petty things.
I agree with you so much, Nichelle, because to me, I find myself very often saying to my students, there are two things that really help you grow up. One is obviously traveling and going out and being on your own a little bit, and the other is working and getting a job, any kind of job, where you're responsible for a certain time and a certain commitment to people in order to get that money and that paycheck. And then comes the question of how do you use your paycheck wisely and well? I mean, you can frivolously throw it away, but then all of a sudden you find out that money needs to be spent accordingly. Jeff, what about you?
I feel that money is an important part of leaving home, but a lot of us are going to fail emotionally because we always have our mom and dad to talk to, or at least someone close at home, whether it be a mom and dad or not. But I think that we'll fail emotionally, and being alone like that, I think that will bring us back a lot, besides just a financial part.
Okay, so leaving home is not only a financial situation, it does have to do with emotional and psychological reasons as well, for sure.
A good thing to do is a roommate. I mean, when I move out and I get my own apartment, I'm going to get a roommate for sure, just so I have someone to talk to, someone to hopefully.
What will be her name?
Mom. Just someone to. So hopefully a neat person, someone to come home and push me a little bit. I'm pretty lazy, and my room is, you can't see the floor. Someone to tell me, maybe make my bed now and then, just to help me out. It's good to have somebody.
Yeah, well, it may be good to have somebody, but you're going to have your own little kind of conscience working and saying, I've got to keep up and keep my mess to myself, in a sense. This is not fair to share your mess with anyone else. You know, it's kind of like you can do what you want in your own room, but if you start spilling out into your roommate's room, that might not be too fair.
Kick the person out.
Kick the person
someone
out.
else in.
That's a nice resolve of the situation, for sure. PJ, are you going to be moving soon, do you think? You think you'll be getting out on your own soon?
Well, it depends on if I decide to go away, far away to college. Right now, I'm debating on going to a college which is close by so I could commute. And then within the next year, I might go to like San Diego, and I'm thinking about that. Then I would go down there by myself, and my mom would stay, where we live now. She wouldn't go with me.
No, that's not good. To take mom to college is not a good idea.
No, I don't think so.
You got to cut the strings certain
I
kinds
know.
of ways.
No.
How do you cut the mental umbilical cord? How do you get away from them emotionally, not only physically?
Well, I don't think there's really a need to do that. If you're close with your parents, I feel that I am, and I always get along with my parents, and I can talk to them. And there's nothing wrong with dropping by every now and then, saying hi, maybe having dinner over, or having them over for dinner. There's nothing the matter with that.
Hopefully, we all grow wiser and better as a result of our actions. Now, panel, I'd like to know what kind of advice would you give to some people who are thinking about leaving home? What would you say to them? Jeff?
I would say that you have to test yourself financially while you're living at home and try saving enough money, and also emotionally, or if you have a problem, try working it out by yourself, or don't go to anyone for help.
Do you have a bank account?
No, I don't.
You never started one? That might be something good for you to start right now. Get your bank account going. I hear the advice, but now you got to do as you do, not do as you say.
If I had some money to put in it, I'd start it.
All right, well, soon that would be a good idea. And the other thing you said was to listen to yourself, huh?
Yeah, like try to work things out yourself. I mean, even though you might have a roommate with you, still you might not open up to him as much as you would to your mom or somewhere. try to work things out for yourself, because you're going to have to do it eventually.
It's for sure. We've talked about this many times before, and that is that there's always lots of alternatives for you, and that you have to really start making your choices. And once you make your own decisions, live with your own decision. That's a nice way to grow up, to really mature. What advice would you give, Brad?
Take your jacket, it might get cold. That's what my mom would tell me. Well, I say the first thing is your parents, you know. You say, oh, you're ready, and if you want to move out, you can, but still, your parents have raised you. They got it. You can't just leave. Bye, Mom. See you later. Slam the door, walk out, never hear from you again. You got to find a place to live and just get yourself set. Know what you're going to do. Get a good job first. Don't just decide you're going to leave and then go looking for a job.
You know, the way I put it very often is don't run away from something, run toward it. When you're running away from something, there seems to be something, it's bad news, and it reflects a fear and an anxiety. When you're going towards something, it's kind of like you're approaching it with an expectation and an excitement and an exhilaration, which is really neat.
Even if you're running towards it and you don't know what you're running to, you're going to run into trouble. It
Well,
doesn't necessarily mean you're running away if you're not prepared. You want to get out there and be a go-getter. It doesn't mean you're running away. You got to be prepared.
Okay, be prepared. Good, that's a neat idea. What about it, Brett?
Advice, I would just say good luck, and you have a lot of self-confidence in yourself, and don't be afraid to, to try something new and just make sure you're doing the right thing.
Do you do that? Do you try new things every now and then?
Yeah, I do. I know what my requirements are for myself, but I don't always live up to them.
I love that part of my own life personally, the fact that I'm very ready and willing to take risks and be willing to try out some new road to get towards something, and some new kind of food, for instance, or new kind of music, or new kind of anything. And maybe that's the way you breed a certain kind of success and confidence within yourself, so that you know that you can do. Knowing you can do is a very neat kind of feeling inside. It feels very good that way.
How about being overconfident?
Well, I'm not too worried about the overconfidence factor. I'm worried about just building up some good feelings of self-esteem and self-awareness. And that can only be done through success. Success is a wonderful breeder of this kind of stuff.
You have to know yourself first before you take some sort of big step like that. And you have to be free from your parents, because they're behind you saying, you're young, Mom, Dad, should I do this? Is it all right? And you've got to be at that point where you can make your own decisions on your, own. You can't call up Mom and Dad when you're 42 years old. Mom, what should I do? You've got to be mentally ready too.
Okay, you are now the parents, and your children are coming over to you, and they're saying to you, we're leaving. We're planning to get going. What do you say? Nichelle, what do you say to your child?
Especially if the child, is moving out with a roommate or a friend, they better know if they know that roommate very well and well enough to live with that person. Because I have a friend of mine who just recently moved out and moved back home because she found out she really didn't know the person as well as she thought she did. And it was kind of really hard for her to go back home and say, Mom, I'm back, take me back.
It's a common mistake.
What's that, Brett?
It's a common mistake.
Common mistake. Okay, you're now Mr. Swafford, and the kid is coming over to you and he's saying, Dad, I'm ready to get going. Yeah.
Well, if I feel that he's ready for it, it's my son, and he's gone through college, or he's going to go away to college, great. Either way,
You're
I'm going to be back
63 years old, son. I want you to get going on your own.
Obviously. If it's my daughter and she said I'm moving in with a guy, I might say forget it.
Really?
I don't know. I don't think. I say I'm a hypocrite. But either way, I think what I would do is stand by him and give him a chance. Because everyone deserves a chance, no matter what.
Okay.
Back them up.
Francoise, your daughter is coming to you, and she's saying, I'm leaving, Mother. What do you say?
I would make sure that she was strong enough so that if she went out and she, struck out, that she could come back and try again. I would make sure that she knew that that was what you should do, because that she shouldn't give up.
That's really nice. That's a very thoughtful response of, you're always welcome back here. This home is always open for you.
It's beautiful.
Something like that can be nice.
I think that,
Jeff?
okay, everyone here, not all parents are nice enough to give you
That's
a
true.
second chance. I
That's
think
right.
that we should look at the point of like someone who's kicked out of home and has to leave in a hurry.
That's
I
right.
mean, they're going to have a lot of problems then.
In reality, leaving home is just another step in growing up. And when I married and made my plans to leave from New York to California, my mother looked at me and said, "Where, oh where, my dear son, did I go wrong?" And I looked down at her and I said, "Mother, you did everything right. You gave me the inner strength and the self-confidence and the self-assurance to know that I and my bride could leave and make it on our own together in California." That was one of the most beautiful gifts that any child could receive from his parent. There are two wonderful books I will recommend to all of you to get started in leaving home. A Guide to Independent Living, published by the Butterick Publishing Company, and Living Poor with Style, written by Ernest Callenbach. Panel, you guys have been absolutely sensational. I think what we'll do is we'll rent a bus, and together, the 8 of us will just get in a bus and leave home tonight and find a new place. This is Joe Feinstein for Teen Talk saying we'll see you soon. It's been wonderful.